Our story opens in 1995, in a quiet New Jersey suburb where a teenager named Chris Brander is pouring his heart out. He writes a letter to his best friend, Jamie Palomino, ready to confess his love and escape what he sees as the friend zone. For practice, he lip syncs to all four ones, "I swear," a moment of pure teenage yearning, until his little brother Mike bursts in and shatters the mood. Clutching Jamie's yearbook like a holy relic, Chris bikes to her house, his entire social existence hanging on this one night. Chris walks into a surprise graduation party, his hope for a quiet moment instantly gone. Jamie, radiant and completely unaware of his inner turmoil, pulls him upstairs to her room. If you love seeing how movie characters get themselves into trouble, subscribe now to never miss a recap again. Their conversation is constantly derailed by interruptions from classmates, including the deeply awkward Dusty Dinkelman, who fumbles through an attempt to serenade her. Then Jamie gives Chris a gift that seals his fate, a sweatshirt emblazoned with "Friends are forever." It's a clear signal that to her, he is a friend, and nothing more. The night implodes. In a disastrous mix-up, Chris gives Jamie the wrong yearbook. His secret, heartfelt confession falls into the hands of his high school bully, Tim. He reads every word, aloud, to the roaring laughter of the entire party. Chris's face burns with shame. He runs from the house, the laughter chasing him into the dark. And this is the exact moment where everything changed. Jamie follows, but her words of comfort are the final twist of the knife. "I love you, Chris, like a brother." In that moment of ultimate rejection, Chris vows to leave New Jersey and show them all. 10 years later, has he gotten his revenge? We meet the new Chris Brander in a sleek Los Angeles high-rise. He is transformed, slim, successful, and cold as ice. He dumps his girlfriend with zero emotion, then explains his life's guiding principle, the friend zone. He explains that being in the friend zone is a one-way street to becoming a romantic nobody. It's like being a piece of furniture in a girl's life, useful but never desired. This cynical philosophy, born from his high school humiliation, has made him a master of the game. He will never be just furniture again. Chris's eccentric boss, KC, gives him a high-stakes assignment: sign the unstable pop star Samantha James. The catch? She's Casey's ex, a woman so volatile she once sent him to the hospital. Chris finds Samantha in a recording studio, throwing a classic diva tantrum and screaming about artistic integrity. Signing her is crucial for his career, but it means stepping into a minefield of pure chaos. Samantha is immediately infatuated with Chris, clinging to him and whispering that she wants to lick skin off. On a private jet to Paris, she performs her new song, Forgiveness, a terrible tune about makeup sex. She casually shows off the taser she carries to fend off stalkers while dreamily planning a collaboration with Bono. Chris is trapped at 30,000 feet with a beautiful, delusional, and potentially dangerous pop star. The chaos erupts. Samantha puts a foil-wrapped container in the microwave. The jet's electronics short out. The plane makes an emergency landing. They touch down in a private field near Trenton, New Jersey, the one place Chris swore he'd never return to. With Samantha still believing she's on a prank show, Chris has no choice but to take her to his mother's house, forcing a reunion he's avoided for a decade. Chris enters his childhood bedroom and confronts a ghost, a shrine of photos of him and Jamie. He tears them from the wall, but the pain in his eyes is raw and immediate. Downstairs, his brother Mike is utterly starstruck by Samantha. Chris escapes to a local bar, only to run into old friends who are stunned by his transformation. His carefully constructed LA life is about to collide with his past. His old bully Tim is now a burnout beg. Then he sees her. Jamie Palomino is tending the bar. She is just as beautiful as he remembers, and his composure shatters. They have an awkward but charged reunion, her hands easily circling his new. The old feelings rush back, powerful and undeniable. After a pathetic pep talk from Tim, Chris musters his courage and asks Jamie out. She agrees to lunch, and despite knowing a day date is a classic friend zone move, he can't resist. His priority is clear: get Samantha out of the picture. He manipulates her into a fan outreach trip to the mall with his brother Mike as her escort. With his liabilities managed, he has a clear shot at rewriting history with Jamie. Chris shows up in a rented Porsche, trying to project an image of effortless success. He calls the car ostentatious, but the act is transparent. Jamie, unimpressed, insists on their old diner, a place of shared history that clashes with his new persona. He resorts to name-dropping celebrities, a desperate move that comes off as arrogant and only pushes her further away. His plan is already failing. The day unravels into chaos. Mike tasers Samantha. She plummets over a mall balcony. At the diner, the waitress brings Chris the Sugar Mountain Supreme and calls him Chubby Bunny, resurrecting the ghost of his past. He acts rude and childish, earning Jamie's disapproval. The date ends in a horribly awkward hug-shake, and as he drives off screaming in fury, he sees her watching his meltdown from her window. Chris returns home to find Samantha stoned on Vicodin and wearing a medical bubble. He sees red. He lunges at Mike. They tackle each other. They roll on the frozen lawn. The fight is a ridiculous, flailing mess of brotherly rage. As Chris strangles Mike, his boss calls, congratulating him for getting Samantha incapacitated to close the deal. His life is a three-ring circus of failure. Still not ready to admit defeat, Chris lies to Jamie about a canceled flight and suggests they go ice skating. He boasts about being an MVP, but his mom reminds him he was always a terrible skater. He ignores her advice to be yourself, determined to impress Jamie. At the rink, he's handed a pair of women's figure skates. The universe is officially mocking him. The skating date is a masterclass in disaster. A kiss attempt becomes a headbutt. A hockey game against children turns violent. Chris, humiliated by the kids, snaps. He goes on a rampage. He plows through the small players. He winds up for a massive slap shot. The puck hits the post. It flies back into his face, shattering his teeth. His desperate attempt to look cool ends with him being carried off on a stretcher. But as one disaster ended, a new kind of rival was about to emerge. As Jamie faints at the sight of his bloody mouth, she is caught by a dashing paramedic, a newly handsome Dusty Dinkelman. While Chris lies broken and helpless, Dusty charms Jamie and gets her phone number, using Chris's chest as a writing desk. Chris realizes his tough guy act failed. He figures if that didn't work, maybe the complete opposite will. He decides he will become the kindest, gentlest man she has ever met. While Chris recovers, Mike tries to seduce a very bored and horny Samantha. He offers a massage. She accepts. He returns with baby oil. Just as things escalate, Chris walks in, his mouth now full of metal braces, looking exactly like his high school self. Seeing him, Mike and Samantha find common ground, uniting to mercilessly chant doofus at the man who has regressed completely. A get-well card from Jamie renews Chris's hope. Fully committing to his sensitive guy act, he invites her to see The Notebook on Christmas Eve. To get Samantha out of the way, he tricks her into playing a gig at a local bar, sending her off with Mike. He is certain that this time, with this new persona, he will finally win Jamie's heart. Chris dons his nerdiest clothes and his retainer, ready for his big night. His plan is immediately sabotaged when Dusty shows up, also invited by Jamie. Things get even worse when Dusty charms Chris's mom into joining them, turning his romantic date into a bizarre group outing. In the dark theater, Chris can only watch in misery as Jamie and Dusty hold hands during the movie, while his own mother grabs his for emotional support. While Chris endures his personal hell, Samantha is living hers, getting booed at a heavy metal bar. After the movie, Dusty solidifies his Mr. Perfect status by driving an eco-friendly car and mentioning his volunteer work at a hospital. Later, watching old home videos, Chris and Jamie share a rare, genuine moment of connection, a glimpse of the easy friendship they lost. The old magic seems to work. Chris and Jamie go for a drive, listening to their high school mixtape and laughing together for the first time in days. But the tender moment is shattered. A furious Samantha appears. She drives her car through the Palomino's Christmas display. She attacks Jamie, screaming that she's a slut. The yard erupts in a massive fire as the decorations explode. In the aftermath of the fire, Chris is sidelined while Dusty plays the hero. His friend tries to rally his spirits, reminding him that he's a Hollywood hotshot and Dusty is just a nobody. Fueled by a mix of desperation and jealousy, Chris decides the games are over. It's time to put his cards on the table and tell Jamie the truth, no matter the consequences. Chris retreats to his room, utterly defeated. But Jamie finds him, holding the 100 reasons list she rescued from the fire. They drop all pretense and share ice cream, talking honestly for the first time. The raw vulnerability leads to her suggesting a sleepover, like old times. This is the moment he's dreamed of for over a decade. Now, put yourself in Chris's shoes. Lying in bed next to her, his mind implodes. The thought of sleeping with her is thrilling, but the fear of losing her friendship forever is terrifying, and it paralyzes him. He panics, rambling about President Bush to fill the silence. He misses his chance. The next day, Jamie is confused and hurt, while Chris is left a mess, trapped by his own indecision. Deciding he has to walk away, Chris books a flight to LA, but a final run-in with Dusty changes everything. Dusty drops his nice guy act and reveals his true plan, to sleep with Jamie for sweet revenge. Chris can't stand by and let her be used. He hijacks his friend's car and races to stop him, his mission shifting from winning her over to saving her. Chris storms into a church concert. He finds Dusty on stage. He exposes him as a liar and a player. But Jamie doesn't believe him. The two men brawl, destroying the nativity scene as horrified children look on. The kids start chanting for Dusty, their beloved hero, leaving Chris to be cast out as the villain once more. After being physically thrown out of town, Chris ends up at the Maple Bar, broken. There, Dusty's ego finally betrays him, and he reveals his slimy intentions to Jamie herself. With Dusty gone, all the frustration between Chris and Jamie boils over into one last vicious argument. He calls her the girl who peaked in high school. She slaps him and walks away. It's over. Back in his sleek LA apartment, Chris feels the hollowness of his success. His glamorous life means nothing without Jamie. He finds Samantha there, but her chaotic energy now seems sad. As she tries to force him to like her, he has a moment of clarity. He finally understands that all his strategies and personas were a waste of time. The only thing that ever works is being honest. Realizing he has to practice what he preaches, Chris gets on the next flight back to New Jersey. He finds Jamie on her porch and lays his heart on the line. No more lies, no more personas. He admits he's afraid to be just her friend because he will always want more. He tells her he loves her, he's always loved her, and he wants to marry her and have babies with her. Wasn't this the speech he should have given 10 years ago? This time, from a nearby window, a new generation of kids watches them, playing out their own drama of crushes and friend zones, a reminder that some things never change. As I Swear begins to play, Chris and Jamie are finally together, the past forgiven and the future theirs to write.